Alright, we're back. So, let's get on with things. It's well worth the plus 20 production to this city. Building that mine there. Okay, force the turn then. Yeah. I believe after wearable computers, it's rapid prototyping, and then industrial ecology, and then I'll have to figure out where to go to next. Ah, science studio set up. Probably should get the biofuel power plant built first, though. That one is a fairly good building from the looks of it. Also gold smelter. The paleontology lab provides quite a bit of science for extremely cheap production costs thanks to the sheer number of other stuff that I've built. Have I built the designs? Have I not built the animations? Not in this city. Wow. Huh. Okay, digital offices and robotics lab. 3D printing mill, maybe? Yeah, perhaps some other time. I needed to build the maker space anyway. It's actually a fairly good building. Alright, let the automatic stuff happen. Oh, it's upgraded to a constructor ship. Okay. Yeah, this is what replaces the workboats later. And yes, in case you're wondering, I'm fairly certain this model comes from... Yep. Yeah, that guarantees it. It's from Final Frontier. The sea mill is better than harvesting the kelp, even if not by much. My focus is and has to remain on improving tiles that can actually be reached. It's the perfect spot for a tree farm. I have to keep doing that. It's no fun. All together now. Yep, tree farm. It's gonna take a while, but that is such a boost to the numbers of this city. And honestly, now that I have, you know, no more competition in any shape or form, I can really start setting up the, well, naval infrastructure. Start building improvements everywhere. I should, however, pick a city that has pretty much all of its needs fulfilled. production-wise, in order to build the constructor ship. Well, ships. I'm pretty sure those still consume themselves when dealing with a fishing boat, which is still rather annoying, especially with how valuable workers are in Caveman2Cosmos, because they actually have XP. Okay, so I need the robotics lab to build a makerspace here in Rarotonga. What a name. Okay, so there's the 3D printing mill. That is a terrible return for investment, though. Time investment. So I'll leave that for later. Definitely build this. If it's anywhere close to accurate, it's a good building to build. The design studio is necessary for other later buildings. Okay, so he has built the animation studio. It still needs the digital offices and the robotics lab. Probably the modern water infrastructure. Wow. Okay. CAD studio. Xbox Place. And the 3D printing mill is actually the better option. Just right away. I'm gonna leave those buildings for later. I'd rather build the robotics lab so I can get the makerspace. The makerspace is a surprisingly strong building, efficiency-wise. Okay, let's get you that makerspace, and then how about a constructor ship or two? Oh no, these are way more expensive than the regular ship. Workboat. That's annoying. Ludicrous 3D printing mill gain. Rapid prototyping will unlock two new, well, maybe not two new. At least one building is going to have production that didn't have production before. And the makerspace already has production. It's just going to get way better. Ah, noisy units. Okay, need a mag lift this. Force turn. Move on to the next thing in order to try to get the whole stack without needing to do the finagling that normally is required. Okay, you need them on waterworks. There's the robotics lab. Alright, time to get this city's production queue set up. Ooh, nice. Okay, wait. Missing the makerspace. Well, you need that, so... Build the robotics lab. You're a city that has not nearly as much produced, so... My expectations are a little reduced on when it comes to how far I expect you to be along the production queue. I wasn't expecting it to be this bad. Are you lacking the modern offices? Yes. Huh. Why haven't I built that yet here? Okay. Right. Can't do anything on this tile. This is gonna force me to force turn every turn, isn't it? Let's find something else for the stack of units to do. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, the osmotic power plant, and yeah, you haven't built the robotics lab yet, so... 3D printing mill, that, and that. That should be good for Hungarola, for now. I mean, the city's a production giant. There's no other reason why it has so many wonders. Okay, there is the fact that it's not coastal, which does reduce the number of buildable buildings, which has the neat side effect of making it much easier to max out on buildings and so move on to wonders, because there's nothing else to build. This distinction is actually rather important. Perhaps surprisingly so, when it comes to decision making. Okay, the design studio's been built, but the animation studio hasn't. Okay, let's get a couple of important things out of the way. I have no idea where modern modelworks are in the list. The main list. That's nice. Okay, get several of the cheaper construction buildings, and then so he needs an animation studio. Lovely. Straight up model offices. Wow, okay. Right, next turn we'll have wearable computers unlocked. Okay. Now head to that fort tile. I'm pretty sure it's no longer needed, and that is a excellent spot to put a tree farm, because that is resin.
Home computers are being called upon to perform many new functions, including the consumption of homework, formerly eaten by the dog.
Stand computers, taking away the dog's jobs. Yeah, the Land Warrior promotion line is powerful. But there's only limited units that can actually take it. For example, the Dreadnought class can't take it. And honestly, it's probably a good thing because those things would be ridiculous. Level 3 gives you plus 50% versus land units, 2 first strikes, 3 first strike chances, immunity to first strikes, an extra vision range, and blitz. Without the penalties of blitz. It's ludicrous. Plus, there's also a couple of new production buildings. Smartphone manufacturer and tablet manufacturer. Which are quite nice little things. Cool. And it's already being mined. Nice. It's a source of extra production. Which is probably the best utility. Honestly. Extra production is always nice. Does the city? Yeah, there's a farm there. Okay. So a farm is not particularly needed. I can set up bamboo and start tree farming. Oh, I need cell phones. That's a flash memory device. Personal electronics are not cell phones, I don't think. There's the cell phones. Do it after you build the aeroponics lab. So it's going to take a few turns before I can do that. Okay, that's something I do need to check. No, that's not worth it. Okay, what other options are there on things to do around here? It's not much really, other than the dreaded task of upgrading things to, well, farm tile specifically to have maglevs. Which is a fun and fulfilling experience. Oh, don't tell me. Not again. I'm not very happy with the need to force end turn. I mean, these two manufacturers aren't particularly great buildings anyway. I mean, look at them. +4 production over the course of 12 turns. The osmotic power plant, which I've saved for last because of how slow it is, does the same in 10 turns. I mean, sure, these buildings provide gold. But I have not complained about income since I stopped the whole colonization of the world project. Money is fine as is. I will not run into any issues on that front. Issues will be from elsewhere, effectively. Ah. And really, I should build that farm supply first. I really need to pay more attention to the actual buildings here in order to have a better idea of what actually is the best thing to do. Create lighthouse, and then I can construct an improvement on the lighthouse. Lighthouse tile. Yep. After all, these are all within cultural borders now, correct? Oh, I think I must have had oil up here since. I probably didn't pay attention to the specific event that caused it. Poultry? Oh, good lord. Tar spot. Honestly, it might actually be reasonable to replace that with a plantation now. Still do not in the city limits, sadly, which is why the fort is required here. Sorry about that. Although admittedly my voice is, according to the volume mixer, audio mixer, louder than that. Yeah, this is going to be a quiet episode. I can't think of anything in particular to talk about. Outside of short wink wink nudge nudge jokes. Pertaining to what ends up appearing from the, well, tech quotes. There's a makerspace. There's a reasonably likely chance I'll have smartphones by the time that becomes relevant, so oh yeah, it is outside the range of an easy. Not sure what is so interesting in the tile. Doesn't look like it. And admittedly, even in the cities that do end up needing more, production buildings before that smartphone manufacturer finishes. No, actually, phone manufacturer finishes. Well, there is the very simple and easy fact that the evolution simulator is going to start providing production. Right, replace the wetland camp, and then after that's done, wow, it's fairly obvious what should be built next. The maglev. Okay, double check. No, 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 no. Alright then. Just continue crafting up roads. For my use.
prototyping is a big deal right now. We get wrapped up in mailing list threads. New tools are released at an astonishing pace, books are being published, and articles show up on boxes and arrows. Clients are even asking for prototypes.
But here's the thing, prototyping is not a silver bullet. Obsoletes all the dig sites and whatnot because it combines. Yeah, I forgot. This one has does not just increase production of multiple buildings as well as quite a bit of money and science and this Internet of Things. Also provides this merger building, the Electronics Manufacturing District, as well as the regular manufacturing district, the textile manufacturing district, and new housing. I mean, those hollow suites aren't actually correct. Reasonable. Habitation pods. Chateau, though? Yeah. Smart homes are in the process of existing, I guess. Inner city housing. Yep. High tech? Depends on how you define high tech. Oh well. But yeah, these three merger buildings combine all those those endless amounts of factories. It combines quite a few of them together, which is going to be quite helpful in getting things reasonably well set up. Especially since I haven't bothered to build all that many of them. Yeah, now I can plant a nature preserve onto the reef. Because there's nothing else to build there. Okay. Maglev. Oh, good. Alright, connect up that tile. And then we move on. Yeah, merger buildings are so important in C2C, just from the sheer bloat of buildings. Being able to trim down the numbers somewhat in current and future cities can actually help quite a bit in getting things reorganized in a halfway reasonable manner. Something happened to the sound? I could bugged out of it. The fun bit is that I actually have no way of knowing how many turns this is going to take. It's probably faster than the other options. Actually, wait. Okay, so 14 turns. Forgot the makerspace is utterly ridiculous. Now with how it is. Electronic manufacturing district requires a manufacturing district. That explains why I haven't built it. Oh, and get the robotics lab as well. That is why you can't make the makerspace, right? Or have you already built the makerspace? Looks like it's already built. Well, if there's nothing else to it, not much I can do about it. Yeah, there's the makerspace. Robotics lab. And I'm not coming back to that city this session. Always nice to see a reasonably long queue after doing only a little bit. 3D printing though is ludicrously good. Again, if that one is anywhere close to accurate. Yeah. I need a biology lab to build that though. Well, it's enough for the manufacturing district, so efficient enough. Okay. So I need to get that biology lab. I also need the robotics lab. I may as well build the paleontology lab because, you know, honestly, why not? Robotics lab. Just a double check. You're missing the Noria. Okay, build that. Dang it, I did it again. Remerging those is always annoying. Okay, so charcoal. Aluminum smith. Industrial park, I guess. Though aren't I getting a replacement for the CAD at some point that doesn't require the studios? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am. Where is it in the list? There it is. Placed by modular construction firm. Yeah, which is Megacities. Okay, that's reasonably soon-ish. How this again? I'm very much looking forward to the Megacities wonders, the Megacity wonders, making a lot of these things more reasonable to work my way through. The question becomes, what to gun for? Space travel? Or megacities? Because megacities is a lot of really useful wonders. That can give me huge amounts of free buildings. Effectively everywhere. And to a fairly impressive extent. Yep, I can make the manufacturers now. So many cities. Don't forget the robotics lab. Yeah, biofuel. And then... Wow, this is atrocious. This is surprisingly bad. Manufacturing district? Sure. Wait, does that do tires? Yeah, okay, so don't build the tire factory. What would be the point? Or, well, there would be no good point to doing so. And if I gun for megacities, then there's no point in trying to get the other stuff, because I can build the upgraded version that provides me more and has fewer requirements of, previously built buildings. So it's way cheaper to obtain in more ways than one. Well, maybe not more ways than one, but in that metric it is certainly cheaper. Time used to obtain. That's a fairly important metric too. Okay. Yeah, so that's very good. Oh goody. Okay, there's one constructor ship done. Although admittedly this portion of the coastline doesn't really need it. Yep, that consumes heat. Lovely. Okay, fine. I'll avoid doing that if possible. Get as much of the coastline handled before I go through the annoying process of fishing boats. I mean, to an extent it makes sense, at least in the original game. Because there, the only thing you can do with these workboats is plant fishing boats. Okay, that is a bit reductive. The only things that you can do are plant fishing boats, plant whaling boats, and offshore platforms for drilling oil. Yep, that's it. The city does not have the Arboretum. So I would presume, yep, no community garden. It's built in Oreo as well. This is a city with plenty of potential food from it. Jute's fast production queue means that it's going to be pretty quick on the draw too. Yeah, I think I need to send a hunter over to here. Just look how many animals are over here. Let's see if I can find a hunter just sitting around. Let's say I left you off to Neonesia. Enjoy your new work experience. I only need one hunter on this large island. And once I'm able to connect it up with Neonesia, yeah. Although I don't think I have the tech for that. The distance seems too large to me. Or perhaps I better put the sea depth. Because that's actually a fairly important factor on deciding whether or not it's reasonable to go a certain direction. It does look like the makerspace has been built here, so I'm not too worried. Fish. Well, go ahead and do your thing. When you start turning up drill, you probably have nothing better to pick. At least not much. Plus one extra first strike chance. Yeah, it's not the greatest. We offer the statement in the belief that both human prosperity and an ecologically vibrant planet are not only possible, but also inseparable. By committing to the real processes, already underway, that have begun to decouple human well-being from environmental destruction, we believe that such a future might be achieved. As such, we embrace an optimistic view towards human capacities and the future. Eco-modernism. There are so many useful buildings. So much production that can be obtained from these. That's why gun for industrial ecology right after rapid prototyping. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for megacities next. The biggest issue is the text required. I need autonomous vehicles, which needs virtual society, which needs media psychology. Applied psychology. Cognitive enhancement. That requires neuroengineering, which sounds very far away. Yeah, transhuman era. Believe that's over in here. Yep. Yeah, there's a massive number of animals. There's the automated waste collection system. This thing is absurd and really should be built first, regardless. That's amazing. This is also quite very good. And that's not so much. Same with that. think that's good enough for the construction queue for a while. I gotta remember megacities are coming up. And I think I will go until media psychology is done. We are 53 minutes in, which is an uncomfortable number. Because it's early to end a session, but I know that will be a decent ways past session end. The 1 hour goal, once I'm finally done. Alright, Maglev, move on. Gen 4 reactor. Supercritical CO2 turbine. Evo simulator, and manufacturing district. Let's get you this. 70 production. Wow. Supercritical CO2 generator is also, well, not generator, turbine is also really good here. I'm still gonna need digital offices. The freelance marketplace requires digital offices, which are here to stay. Although they're given for free by Hudson Yards. Which is one of the megacity wonders, right. That's why I'm going for megacities. Fine, manufacturing district. Yeah, okay, so it's gonna get me the full production. Right, so I still need the digital offices, and I still want the robotics lab. I've already built the digital offices. No. I don't think I have I don't even have modern offices in this city. Let's get that programming language too. I'm gonna skip the animation studio. I don't think I need that specifically to build a production building anymore. So it's safe to leave off for the time being. Kangaroo Camp does not need to be built. And no, I'm not justifying it after the fact. Whatever makes you think so. Super productive cities are always fun. Although I should build that first. Save the rest for later. Yeah, now that the new hunters in Neonesia. No, please do not give me building recommendations. Those are annoying. I know what I'm doing, okay? Oh, neat. Oh, and there's no cities that need attention this turn. Okay, after that the entire area will be fully accessible, and I have no idea what to do with the worker, at least for a while. However, the region is safe of barbarians, which is why the big game hunter is right there. If it can't find anything to hunt, it just goes to the nearest city and waits. And leap out whenever the next thing spawns. That's a given. Anything more can wait until later for more reasonable production outcomes. Replaces geothermal power plants. Modern earthworks. Okay, geothermal energy. Weird how I wasn't able to build a regular geothermal plant. Perhaps it needs it extracted. Oh well, tons by production again, and the makerspace is requesting intervention. Yeah, we're about to hit an hour. Lovely. Fine, I guess. Ooh. Yeah, now that I finally have a new stream of animals coming in again, I mean, it is mildly annoying to have to deal with it. Animals specifically because of how they act in this game. At least clearing out the actual hostile ones is very helpful in all this. Because the military units are there to protect the workers, but that can get quite troublesome. When it comes to being, well, helpful in these things. That deserves a fishing boat. This city is surrounded by water. Obviously, it deserves good water infrastructure. And Fall will probably be one of the centerpieces of, you know, the wonders that provide large buffs. The city tiles. Well, not city tiles, water tiles. Okay, over here I can plant trees. I have to grow a forest from scratch though. I can't just build, I can't just plant a bunch of bamboo and have it immediately grow. It's gonna take some effort to get to that point, but it's well worth it. Due to the benefits provided. Forest, critical CO2, Evo, makerspace, manufacturing. The rest can wait. It's gonna take a few turns for several turns for that thing to go through. Because yeah, 55 production is a lot, but all the cities that I have produce a few thousand at least. 55 isn't that much in that genuine quantity relative to other things. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Definitely has a 3D printing mill though. Then that, then this, and then this. Well, okay. I have the older version, so should be enough for now for that city. Super critical. Should be good enough until I get the new buildings. Yeah, I'd say that's good for that city for now. Birds. Oh hey, Great Hunter. Well, rule number one on why you shouldn't use poisoned weaponry. And by far the simplest reason not to. People make mistakes. You certainly do. Even if you're a so-called, you know, God's representative on this lowly earth. Yeah, I can no longer produce a Great Hunter. Which is a bit sad. Which means that the ones that I currently have are, well, a limited currency. Thankfully, I don't need them beyond hunting animals, and the spawn rate of animals should slowly go down as time goes on, I believe. And even if they don't, there should be fewer of them on Neonesia. Because hopefully the new hunter coming in should reduce those quantities at least a little bit. This tile... Right, there's a town here. Those things spread influence just as well as the other stuff. Okay, replace the burnt down forest, and I'm probably going to have to replace the tree farm too. It's better to handle it right away. Okay, that's no longer necessary. I can replace you with a genuine useful building. I think I'll actually go for the orchard here. Man, coconuts are good. At least from a tile productivity standpoint. Tar pits. Aha! You had just tree farm. Okay, Gen 4 reactor. Supercritical. Evo. 3D printing mill Evo. Maker. Manufacturing. Fracking first, honestly. Before the manufacturing. Speech recognition, and I can save the rest for later because inevitably new buildings are going to come up in the next short period of time. I need that makerspace set up at some point. Where's that robotics lab? There it is. Fracking. Okay. Yep, makerspace. The city doesn't even have digital offices from the looks of it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I need to think about replacing the tree farm here, because usually mining's better than tree farming when a resource is involved. Honestly, that area could use another pass.
Girls are like cell phones, they like to be held and talked to. But press the wrong button and you're disconnected. Guys are like buses. If you miss that one, another will be along soon.
Eh. Okay, right. I'll finish up the turn and then call a decision. Makerspace been built yet? Looks like it. Yeah. Multiple cities require my attention, including the first one that finished their manufacturing district. These two districts are less notable. They don't replace... Okay, it's less that they don't replace quite as many buildings, but the amount of... Well, how do I put this? Resource-based production or output is reduced. There's not quite as many resources by the manufacturing district that are involved. Although I think a 40-turn queue tends to be long enough for my needs. Seriously, no workers? Huh. Right. Let's call it a session. I do want to check how much remaining culture. 20 million culture. I'm producing over 200,000 per turn, so less than 100 turns. So 3 or 4 sessions. After all, I got through around 32 turns this session. Yeah. I mean, if I increase culture output, which might happen. Okay, that one is questionable, but I mean, we're moving at a rapid pace. Virtual societies in 7 turns, which is impressive. Although, admittedly, industrial ecology and even rapid prototyping itself is beyond current technology. Which is funny because super strength. Stealth. We haven't even figured out stealth yet, but why do we need to? There's no military conflict. The world is effectively demobilized outside of some malicious stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going for a megacity so I can build these massive things, these megacity wonders, which give me free buildings. All these give me a free building. And none of these are obsoleted, so I don't need to build those buildings anymore at all. Although the replacements are another story. Plus, I get this modular construction firm, which no longer has the ridiculous requirements of the CAD studio. Some marine architecture, which is fun. That energy island is very interesting. There's quite a few bits of construction going on. I can also apparently build a submerged town, but yeah. As to what to research next, I'm not sure. Ow. I could do organic photonics because of the new buildings. Although the OLED lamps is yet another lighting building. So it's only going to get me one production. These luminescent solar concentrators would be nice. mean, the theory of everything, should I build it, would be a great replacement. Getting that with just superstring theory is, what I was really looking for is here. Yeah, it's the +1 production from scientists in all cities. That's part of the reason why I'm staying away from it, because that is a noticeable amount of production. And I am not someone who would be very happy about weakening the scientists. Oh well. Stuff has been going well. The new buildings are impressive. That's why there's so many cities building Gen 4 reactors now. And for the cities that don't have river access, because they weren't able to build the previous version of the nuclear reactor, they're getting a huge amount of production from all this. To the level of possibly saying even an insane amount of production. It's a lot. And it seriously helps with just to be playing the level of speed I can achieve. And I've also started thinking about building up actual water infrastructure. So I've set up a couple constructor ships in order to start working, which are the latest version of the modern workboat. Of course, I'm sure you can hear it loud and clear. This is actually, I'm pretty sure, a model from Final Frontier. Or if it isn't a model from Final Frontier, it's a modified model from Final Frontier. But it's probably from Final Frontier. You can even see the little thrusters down here, sitting inside the water. I mean, these little ship things right here are just the little work huts, but for water in the modern era. I'm sure if I picked a random tile, that I could probably find one of those. Although I'm probably not anywhere nearby. Yeah, this continent has generally been well upkept. Though there are a couple tiles like this one right here. But the jungle stuff is not something I need to look at for that sort of a thing. This tile would have been potentially so, but it'd be a resource that provides a lot but isn't worked. I need you to do other stuff. What is you doing? Anyway, yeah, I've definitely gone on long enough. I'll see you again next time. Until then.